Remember, please hit like and subscribe for me. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go. Hi, everyone. Today's Friday, August the 29th. My name is Anne-Marie Band, and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. We are taking a look at the E-mini S&Ps here. I have to tell you, yes, we know, seasonality, September, normally a little bit rocky, but honest to goodness, I have not heard so much chatter about seasonality on broad media that I've ever heard. And it could be because my ears are listening more, but somehow I think it's because it's just being harped on. And here's the funny thing about the market. If everybody starts thinking the same thing and they get on one side of the boat, they're going to get shredded. And so yesterday, I believe this run-up was short covering all the way up. Absolutely all the way up. Trend is still up. Momentum diminishing, but motion continues to rise. And if people are talking about seasonality, don't go into September long, the market is going to stomp on the most necks that it possibly can. It's just the way it works, right? So for those of us that swing trade, you want to be super careful trading the seasonality event. Right now, all I'm seeing is any sharp reflexive moves down are getting bought up because these shorts are nervous. And they're seeing the same sort of thing that I'm talking about, that if they've been around, they know that very easily they're going to tip the boat over if they try too hard to lean on short action. So we got an all-time high yesterday, staring down the E-mini today, the last 30 minutes of the trading day yesterday, low 6,515, high 6,523. That sits as a potential breakout zone. We do have momentum here, could drift down. The PCE could drag us, but waiting down at the bottom, pretty sure we've got ourselves some buyers floating around. Kind of noisy, but this is another place where waiting for the move, not a bad idea. Levels below. We are inside of the value area. If we look at the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, let's squinch that up just a wee bit, right? Right inside of the value area. So there's a bit of a do or die around the 6,500 zone. Momentum is drifting down. It tells us we're looking for support. And so once we get that support, we're going to move upward, right? So where might we find the support? Well, very interesting that you might ask that. How about staring down the highest volume candles of the last couple of days? So this is interesting. We actually have to go back to Wednesday to find the pocket that we're in. And it's the last 30 minutes of Wednesday's trading, which incidentally had more volume than the first 30 minutes of Wednesday. And we're losing that edge. And so next stop, my suspicion, is the VWAP of the range. That's 64.81. Buyers are going to fight to move in here. And there's not that the buyers are going to fight. Sellers are going to move to cover. They're nervous. They want to see more drift down, and it's not happening. So could we get to 65.20? You know, the gamma lines are shifting up. Yesterday, we saw the move. This was GEX yesterday, the gamma line that is second largest to the call resistance line. The 0 DTE gamma wall is at 6,500 for today. The call resistance in general for all the options sitting in the expiration space, 6,525. Yeah, that might be the upper level, right? But losing 6,500 here, remember, traders want to be short that 6,500 so they can push price into the pocket and make all the money from selling the spreads on the outside. That's how I trade SPY options all the time, right? Now, it does mean I have to maneuver many of them during the day, but it's still a great way to collect cash all the time. So, what do we have? Point of control, 6,478. Value area low, 6,468. Those are our pockets, right? Dips or buys. We find the dips, and then, don't size up. Don't go crazy. Don't go crazy. Let's take a look at the NQ. Rhythm, flow. Let's take a peek. 4-hour chart. Still trending up. Mixed bag, right? 63 downward, 14 moving average upward. Momentum positive but drifting. Sideways noise. Look at what we did with the opening range here. Never hit above it, right? So this falls in the anomaly, right? First 30-minute candlesticks. Edgeful says, hey, in that first 30-minute candlestick event, 85% of the time, it breaches both edges. When it doesn't, probably a trending event. All right? So this clear mean reversion looks a lot like the ES to me. And if I stare down, wow, the call wall is, they're way inside of the call wall. So 50% inside of the call wall's way up here. So they don't care. They're going to move it right around this area all day long, try to collect their premium. What are we staring down? All right. Last 30 minutes of the trading day, high 23,803, low 23,765. That's probably resistance today, in my mind. Support, probably going to be in this pocket. So deep dips, let's say the PCE comes in and whatever the number is, we don't really care about the number. We're looking for the actual reaction to the number. And it could be reflexive. My thought is, if it's a savage dip, those shorts who went in short around here are going to be so happy. They're going to pull themselves right out of the muck here at 23,487. And then you're going to see the markets move to the upside again. Value area high, we're dancing around that number. 23,625. Point of control, 23,600. VWAP, 23,588. And value area low, 23,487. Cross current. Notice how many boxes are overlapping each other. Cross current. And so it's come back into the cross current. So if it cannot break out here, and buyers are going to try and come in here, no doubt about it. But if they can't, you've got yourself downside pressure. I would not be surprised to see it come to the 23,565 and then bounce. My thought is, with a cross current here, I'm going to go to my big volume candlestick of yesterday. Ideal shorting measures, 23,742. Possible long action, 23,565. I forgot the YM yesterday, so we'll do that very quickly. Also very sideways, right? Thin volume. Nothing outsized here except in the middle of the day, which is a little interesting. You had these two outsized volume candles, but nothing expressive, as it were, right? Last 30-minute candle of the day, first 30-minute candlestick of the day, we're still sitting in that box. So John Hoagland would call that in value and in range, right? Where's the breakdown? If we lose 45,500, 45,407, very likely with a pit stop at 45,447. If we hold upwards, we sit right in the value area range, value area low, that 45,500, value area high, 45,734, and then the point of control, 45,636. What does this tell you? It's noisy, right? Sideways motion, overlapping volume bars, all volume boxes just overlapping each other. And what do we get from that? Butkus. Sideways. So wait for the deep dip, 407, or even potentially into the other volume node, the high volume node here, for the dip down and then the move up. If you're saying to yourself, I just want to trade on a tighter cycle, we just had a mean reversion. This would be a flag pattern, came into the 14 and broke down, but your thought should always be, where's it going to? This is a pocket of support. So stare it down, use your support edges, and then move yourself back up if you're taking a long. I like to give that bigger moving average some room, and so I would trade a mean reversion move much faster most of the time. All right, let's do Bitcoin. What do you know? It faded off of that high. Yeah, this one, I should just be trading this one and nothing else for right now because I am reading it very clearly, extremely clearly. Clear bounce zone, 109,000. Clear sell zone, 113,000. Could it move around? Yes, but these guys are waiting for something else. I do not know what it is. Volume candles, they're not really trading a lot in here. This volume pocket from, what is that, Wednesday. Same 4 o'clock candlestick on Wednesday. And we fell out of it. Tried to hold it a couple of times. We tried to hold it here on Friday. Try to hold it here early this morning. That's 111,000. There's a big difference between these moving averages. We tend to see some measure of mean reversion here. So if I were setting up a short today in this one, I would still be looking at the big edges up here near 113,000, 114,000. But you could get yourself a reflexive bounce if it pulls back and holds 109,700. We can walk up to 111,000, value area low, 111,000, value area high, 112,600, and the VWAP and the point of control right around 111,500. Very sideways pocket, buy the dips, sell the rips. That's what that looks like to me. We got a lot of crazy stuff going on. This oil is still, even under all the chatter about all kinds of things in oil-related places, this chart still is not lifting. So we had our closing candle of the day. Here's our 2 p.m. candle, right? It's this one right here. We fell out of it, and then where we fell into was the 2 p.m. candlestick of Wednesday. Something happened on Wednesday that, seeing a lot of the charts gravitating with movement around that day, but I don't know what the noise is. But you can see we're between two pockets of volume. The closing of Thursday and the closing of Friday in terms of, when oil closes. And so dips are buys, trend is up, momentum is drifting. This is the top of a very big range to the left. You can see it. Upward projections could be 64.70. Trend is, but look at, you see how these candlesticks are retracing each other? That is a rock fight. No doubt about it. There's some people getting hurt in here, badly, especially if they're carrying size and they're not reading what's actually going on. Early morning, 4 a.m. level is the candlestick that's carrying the most intraday pre-market action. And so above $64.40, we could easily get to $64.90, $6,500, something like that. $6,500, $65. What? Nobody'd be driving. Nobody'd be doing anything. Okay, value area low, $64.15. VWAP, $63.97. I forgot the word for VWAP. Holy cow. $63.65 is the point of control, and value area low, $63.46. This one's interesting. There's a lot of news sitting under this one. So the candlestick noise is elevated under news events, but price flows always work when you're staring down the big picture. We are still making higher lows and higher highs relative to frame. Let's take a look at gold. I feel like I've been talking for about 100 minutes. Okay, staring down gold. This is interesting, right? Gold, we can see it's still in a retracement zone. Big volume pocket a while back. And then here's another 4-hour volume event. Look at what happened. Old resistance, new support. Moving average, and off she goes into this candlestick from August the 8th. Now we're dancing in here. Pullbacks are still buy zones, but trend is definitely up, and it's really pretty steep. Now what we notice, I would love to do some analysis on the distance that is the average before the mean reversion. Not quite there yet, but it sure does look like it's getting close. So what is my thought? If we get to 3,500 again, probably going to see some sellers, right? So we wait for the exhaustion mode. Going to be an absolutely phenomenal short, right? Unless it isn't. And then you have a buy stop up over the edge. Remember, the longer it hits these edges and doesn't go through, the more likely it is that when it breaks the edge, it's going to really run hot. And so that's what we're looking for. We're looking for this pocket of volume. My thought, it might come on, Monday, Tuesday, something like that, right? Okay, let's take a look at SPY. Oh, geez, did I even give you the value areas here? Gold, value area high, 3,440. Value area low, 3,370 on the 4-hour formation. It is well above the tight price action event for the week, right? So I would not be surprised to see a failed bounce here. I really would not. You want to be careful, of course, but I mean, it's long, obviously, right now, right? Holding the base, hold the floor, off to the races, but you'd want to take profit at these last areas. Our support zone well below 3,440, which is what we were looking at yesterday. Okay, finally, SPY. All right, bouncy bounce, and then fade. Here's the gap. $48.56. That's the gap event. Closing volume candle. What is that? 30-minute candle? Yeah. 30-minute candlestick from yesterday for SPY. 648.69 low. High 649.49. What's my thought? We stay range bound in here. I know everybody is expecting this great big news event that's going to move people in one direction or another. I think we're going to see a candlestick like this. So what do you want to do? Hey, what's trend? It's up. What's momentum? It's down. What does that mean? They're looking for support. The traders that are trending in here are looking for support. Also, people who are saying, no, it's coming September. We're going to have a massive fade. Those guys front-loading the boat, if there is not enough participation, these guys are going to get creamed, and we are going to head to $650. And then some, right? And then some. So dips or buys, folks. Look for the dips. Sell the puts once it recaptures the floor. Value area low, 642. I think that would be my short put today. Value area high, 647. I've been trading 647 for a couple of days, and I've had to lever them out into higher strikes, so I would be pretty careful. I don't think I want to do 647 today. I may do 649. But that's it for me, folks. I'll see you on the streams.